I will indeed. So Keiru and I, we actually met at work at STS, and he was hired as our camera guy, the one who is supposed to know how to take photos and video. And luckily, he did not disappoint or get fired. He's still working at STS, which is a good thing. But he's also focusing more on his videography and photography as well. And the two of us, we've gone on websites, onto onto site visits to different mines, quite a lot. And to take proper video underground is not easy. So taking photos and taking videos above ground is fantastically easy. So, him and I, we've both stumbled underground and we've figured it out. And yeah, but Keiru is the one that is formally trained in videography and in photography, cinematography,
And animation, yeah.
and in animation. Yeah, so he's pretty handy in Blender as well, for those who know a little bit about animation. Yeah, so Keiru, you studied at Open Window, and what did you study
Yes.
there exactly?
I did. I studied 3D animation and film and TV. That was called that. And then I did a specialization subject in cinematography. Now,
Awesome.
cinematography is basically lighting, video, camera for video, and audio. We dabbled in that, and yeah, and then animation. It's all rounder animation, modeling, texturing, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really into the film space. So whether it's
Yes.
VFX or 3D animation, what we do at STS,
Mm,
creating characters, vehicles, models, props, all that kind of stuff. And then on the sideline now, it's film.
nice. Okay, so basically today, Keiru is going to show us a few cool techniques and tricks and things that we can do with our lighting and camera angles. Um, so, yeah, Keiru, go for it.
Cool. Yeah. How do I share? I'm gonna share this screen then.
Yeah, I'll say. It's
Do you
gonna
see
see.
this? But it's not full screen. So if I hit F5,
Oh, hot day.
uh, okay, cool. So like you guys asked me to do a presentation on how to film yourself. So everybody has got a phone. So hopefully everybody can follow along. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try and just keep it to the very basics. How to like film yourself with a phone and what you have at home. So let's start off with composition. It's how you frame yourself. Um, Usually we uh, frame ourselves on the rule of thirds. Now, for those of you that don't know the rule of thirds, if you, I don't know if my hand is on the top of the frame and the bottom of the frame. So if you break up the frame in three sections, generally your eyes should be on the frame or on the third rule of third. And for like talking to the camera, usually just keep yourself centered. If we do like podcasts and interviews and stuff, you usually break up the vertical or the horizontal as well. So you would put your subject's head and eyes on the third, horizontally and vertically. And then also keep the angle uh, fairly level. Look straight into the camera. Um, I've seen a lot of people that like have the camera very low, like your phone, like really low or very high, like she is
Like
showing now.
this.
yeah, it is
like very low
kind of weird. So,
or
I mean,
very
it's a
high?
very natural pose to have this, but it looks really weird. So if you get yourself level, eye level, and film yourself that way, and then uh, the background depends on what you want to show. So if you obviously show stuff, then that stuff should be in the background. But generally, if you just talk to the camera, keep the background fairly clutter-free. I mean, if you stand in a room or something, it's better to just choose a white wall or any blank wall at the back, and then try to keep your phone, if you have it handheld, keep it stable, because it's really irritating if somebody films themselves and you bob around with them all the way. So that's the second one. If you don't have a tripod, use a bookshelf, stack some books on, get your camera. I usually, if I'm out and about and I only have my phone and I want to take like a um, of clouds or something, I just find something heavy or like a mug or whatever full of coffee or water, and you just lean your phone um, on that mug. And yeah, it's the length depends on what camera do you have. So if you have a wide, these days the like the selfie cam, it can go to a wide angle. Then you don't have to have it stretch out. And then yeah, that's just sort of personal preference, but obviously not too close. And it's a distorted face. So generally, what we like to do is have the camera further away and zoom in. So what I mean by that is not a wide angle, more a zoomed in shot. Most phones, if you have all these lenses, generally it's like the dot three. Some Samsungs they go up to 10 now. That's way too far. That's now different. But generally, if you have the camera, say on three or maybe one, it depends. If you have it handheld, I think one would be enough. Yeah, let's go to the next one, lighting. Um, if you don't have lights like we have for filmmaking, generally the best is to face a window. Um, what I mean by that is use the window. Hopefully, it's daylight outside. If it's at night, then you have a different story. But during the day, the sun is our best source of light. So if you face the window, and if it is direct sunlight, preferably use a sheer curtain or like a white bed sheet that would diffuse the light. So then it's not this very sharp, as you can see on my glasses now, it's creating a sharp light. Um, it's from my room's light. And then what I mean by avoid backlighting from bright windows. So if my window's over there and I film myself facing or have, well, that I have the outside at the back, it's usually blown out. That's that white. You can't see your face. So either
Like a
the
silhouette.
camera yeah, the silhouette. It either compensates for the outside, then your face will be very dark, or it compensates for your face and then the background is blown out, which usually really looks sort of weird. So if you
Sorry, Kerry, what
face,
do you mean by blown out for those that don't know?
okay, blown out is when the camera can't see too bright, or if it's blown out, it's a term we use when um, too dark. There's a scale between dark and then light. So if it's blown out, it is past the camera's capabilities. So if your camera can only see dark and light, and the sun is away, it's blown out. So if you have a bright outside, it's going to be blown out. And you only have this capability. Our eyes can see much larger, um, the difference between dark and light. So yeah, if it's blown out, the camera can physically, it's just white. Usually the darker you can't see in the black, and then obviously with white it's blown out. So it's past the camera's capabilities. And then if you do use the sun as a main source of light, and the sun comes in at an angle, usually that harsh sunlight will create very unnatural, well, it's not unnatural, but it's unpleasant to see these hard shadows. I mean, if I look at all three of us, we have fairly soft shadows now. That's just cameras these days. It's fairly good to distinguish between dark and light. So yeah, that is for lighting. The best, if you can, is outside. Just because the sun is so bright that most cameras, they operate on light. The lighter your environment, the better the camera handles that scene. So usually the thing with GoPros is why it's so good at daylight is it can process all that data. Where if you take that GoPro or a phone, even phones, to a club, a nightclub or whatever, it's going to struggle. It's going to look mushy, and the footage is not going to look good. So if you don't want or can shoot inside, outside is usually the better one. Just have the sun at the back. Usually that will create that backlight I was talking about. So use the house light. So if you back inside, if I now turn this way, my house light is creating this rim around me. And that is just to separate me from the background. I can't turn off my lights now, and I need to remove myself. But yeah, imagine without this, if I can see on this side, there's no rim light, but on this side. So it's sort of easier to distinguish myself from the chair, and even Teams has got is doing a better job cutting me out, say on this side. So that's just with the backlight. And obviously, if you have the house light, it will fill the room, so you won't have that dark side of the face. Next, audio. Luckily, we don't need external audio devices and stuff these days with phones. Phones, audio mics are really good, and the processing on them are really good. So, but just to help with that, turn off the fan and the aircon and TVs. It just helps with that cluttered noise, because usually with these days phones, they use some sort of AI to remove noise, but sometimes the audio peaks, so louder sounds do come through, and that just sounds weird. So you have this muffle and I'm then it comes through. So just turn off everything and it obviously is going to distract you. So if you have a TV running at the back or something like that, it's going to be irritating. And you're going to get distracted from your beautiful content you are being created. And then the closer to the mic, the better. Usually the phones have a mic over there and on the top, obviously for talking. But if you now use the phone as a mic or a video camera, don't usually, if you have the camera or the phone on top of something, you'll hear the phone is being muffled because you are blocking the sound waves going to the camera. So if you use your phone, have it open on all the sides. This cutting out the blur is kind of weird. But yeah, just if you use a handheld, yeah, don't go too far, but I mean, in arm's length, the audio will be crisp. with the processing we have in phones these days, you're gonna have no problem. It's not gonna sound like an audio engineer touched your audio, but it's gonna sound good, and your audience will understand and can follow you without any like issues. And then with reduced audio, echo, sorry, is the difference between your bathroom and say your living room or your bedroom. Sound bounce around. So if you don't have curtains and carpets and beds and stuff like that, or couches, if you're in a TV room or so, it will bounce around. I don't know if you can remember in a school hall or a big open space. Usually these days, churches and movie theaters. That's why movie theaters have like a very soft carpet on the sides and the top and the bottom and everything. It's to absorb those sounds. Where if you're in a tiled room, which is a bathroom or something similar, or a big like a school hall with bricks and stuff like that, it's gonna echo and bounce around. That's usually not preferable. And then if you don't have earphones, usually the earphones, they come with a little mic. So if you have that, that's usually way better than the actual mic on your phone, like the little, like me, I don't have those earphones, so I'll just then use my phone. But if you have that, then use those earphones. It's gonna look, if it ruins your look, then obviously don't go for it. But if you don't care about or mind that earphone look, like my little icon there, then use that. It's usually a better mic. It's a smaller mic, and it's obviously closer than to your mouth. And then some bonus tips. Phones these days, they have a little camera facing you, so then it's easy to sort of composite yourself and have your see what you do. But for quality wise, it's not the best camera. Usually the camera's at the back of your phone. It's way better. Obviously, that comes with, you can't see what you are filming. So if I film myself like this, but then you can use a mirror or stuff like that, or have somebody else frame you. And then airplane mode, just to cancel out any notifications or phone calls that come through. Because I've been there where I'm on set or even filming something, and notification pops up, and usually your brain, it cancels it out until you go to the editing room or you watch that video over. And then as soon as you say something important, beep, beep, I get the Samsung. Yeah, that little Samsung whistle. So yeah, that's important. Or turn off your Wi-Fi and mobile data. That also, it's usually the same, but airplane mode is just one button, then it's all done. And then do a 10-second or 15-second test clip. So just talk to yourself. Oh, how was your day and stuff. So you can play that video clip over just to see if anything is out of place. Usually some hair standing out and you won't like that. And that can be a cause of not posting. And you don't want that after a 10 or so minute video or 5 minute or however long video you want to record, and then you find out your audio is not recording or something is not working. So if you use earphones, and it might be that it's not clicked in all the way and your audio is not not recording. Yes, Tiffany.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I actually am remembering on that note, Keiru.
Yes.
So you guys, we had, I think it was like a year and a half ago, Keiru and I went to a podcast shoot.
Yeah.
And do you remember Claudia's shoot where we had these microphones, and I think the one just broke. It just broke. And the other one somehow wasn't really plugged in because we took a break in between and I went to check the footage and the cable was in the way. So I took the cable out thinking I'm going to put it back in, and then I didn't. And I forgot. And because I didn't do a sound check before we started again, the last 10 minutes or something, which was actually pretty crucial to the shoot, had completely different sound. And then I had to sit and tell Claudia that I completely messed up, and it is not Kairu's fault, but it is 1000% my fault, that we didn't have a backup sound device, and she paid me for that shoot. So what we did is we ended up cutting that shoot into 2 sections. The first one, or 2 videos. The first video had perfect sound. The second video, the sound was biggie off because it was the sound from the camera on the other side of the room, right? Which we had to process and put through, but at least we could kind of save it. But please, guys, do exactly what Kairu says. And that 10-second test clip might seem like an unnecessary, irritating thing, but my goodness, it can save you. Yeah.
I shot we went on a missionary trip in Zambia, and I used my phone as an audio device. And then this one girl, she sang a song with some of the girls in that area. And then I did not have my camera equipment or my audio equipment there. So I filmed with my camera, but I don't have audio. So I just used my phone and I just put them there close by. And you would be surprised how good the audio is from a phone. And that was, say, 5 or so years back. And that it saved that clip, because the clip or the audio from the camera was not that good. But obviously I used the camera or the just a record app on your phone that ships with all the phones. I use that, and it's really, really good. And that's also a tip, is if you have somebody else's phone, just throw that on a audio. That also now, then it's separate. Then you have a video clip on your phone and audio. So then you have to merge it. That's a bit of a different story. But it can salvage your clip if you now advance more and start to invest in cameras and stuff, because it's expensive to start. So that's why we keep this one on just phone. So just use your phone. And then natural expressions look better than forced ones. So if you are not comfortable, doing weird stuff, then don't do it. Obviously, keep it engaging, because nobody wants to like slouch and look at a guy that is really not up in the air for this thing he's going to be talking about, or her, or whatever. And then, that's also my last point, is your posture. Be open. That's something we learned in film school, is when you are directing people, is some people naturally, they just sit, but it looks odd. So if you open up, it will signal that you are open for, yes, shoulders back, head back, and usually you would laugh, but before you film, jump up and down. You would be surprised how that open up, like how it opens up your blood flow and everything, so you're more willing to, I don't know, um, it's the mental thing. I think it's a weird thing, but trust me, jump up and down, like do a star jump and jump around, you'll be surprised how good it makes you feel, and you are more willing to talk about it, and you are then open for whatever you want to talk about. So that is it for me. Listening to your favorite song, that is a very good one. It calms you down, and I think you are more open to uncomfortable situation. That is, I think, what I want to try and say. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's uncomfortable, and to get yourself in that mood, jump up and down, and then you'll bring
Mm.
out the kid in you. And it works so good on set. We, Steph and I, that um,
When
one
did we do
remember,
that?
for somebody that was really, really uncomfortable and really like very into himself. And then once I said, let's stop. And then we all jumped up and down, even us behind the camera. And then just obviously to get him to do it as well. I can't remember who it
Was
was,
it
but
those
then after
lawyers?
that, he
Something Swart and Botha.
Oh no, that I used a different camera person for that, but they were very nervous. Yeah.
is it chef? Okay. Yeah, I actually used it on site when we went and filmed like big shots. I haven't done it with a CEO yet, but some managers and stuff. And it's like really they are so stressed out. And I was like, no, stop. Let's jump around just like 2 or 3 times, and then you would be surprised how open they were after that. Or read few dad jokes. Yeah, that can also like lighten the mood.
That would be yeah.
Yeah.
He's already doing it.
Hey, as hy maak ons trots ou. Yeah,
Wow.
that is my tips for filming yourself. And the best advice is just to start. If you
Yes, just
forget your
start.
framing, if you forget your lighting, and good content is always the best. It's sort of king. Your audio adds, your lighting adds, but if you don't get your message across, then what's the point?
Mm,
So yeah,
mm.
content or your message is way more important than the gear and the audio and the framing and the lighting and stuff like that.
100% agree. Yo, thank you, Kairu. So I got a few messages from a few people who did their homework of filming themselves and had questions and struggled.
Yeah.
So if anybody here did that and struggled, now is your chance to talk to Kairu and to ask him some questions. I know that everyone was uncomfortable. I got lots of messages. So let's send me a message saying she looks drunk in the thing. But I looked at it. You do not look drunk in it. I don't know why you said that, Sulek, but you did really well. So anybody
Yeah.
has questions, ask them now.
Yeah, please.
Even Stian filmed himself. Guys, he did his own homework. I was really proud of him.
Yeah,
And
it
he
was
added
really
some
cool.
humor for those that looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Stian actually used your screen. I don't know if it was intentional, but if you want some color in your shot, use your screen. Open up Paint or everybody's like Windows or Mac. I don't know what Mac's tool is, but like open up Paint and paint your screen that color, and then you'll have that cast on you if you are looking for a pink or a blue or something like that. As I look over this, I've been painting and doing some reno work all week. No
Oh,
worries, Tammy.
Tammy, it's okay if you look awkward. You know, the whole point of this week was not to send in a perfect video, but just to get comfortable with the camera, just to do something in front of the camera so that you could start the process. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, just start. And yeah, that's what I do. Just start.
Yeah.
So I had a few attempts and I also messaged Stephanie I ended up deleting all of them because it was so awkward. Like not even a few seconds in, I was like, no, I can't do this. That whole thing of looking at yourself while you're talking, it's like completely freaking me out.
I'm just reading tab and saying, what do I do with my hands? Yeah. You know, that's one of my tips, Kara, is okay, I've got a video that I've even filmed and edited. I just have to finish it. With 10 common mistakes that people do when creating video content. And one of them is not using your hands. Like in my video content, I hold an object and then I gesture the whole time because it is more engaging and it looks like I care more when I'm doing this than if I'm just doing this, you know, and if my tone of voice is real down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's ask the question now, Kara. She
Yes,
said,
I saw.
apologies, I came in late. What do you suggest? Should you be facing the camera or can you have the camera at an angle? I don't know if that makes sense.
If I understand Sulet correctly, is facing the camera like head on, or have the camera on the side and you look past the camera. If that is, if you talk to the audience, it's better to look at the audience. But if you ask somebody questions and it becomes a ping pong between two people, then it's usually on the side. So if you talk to the audience, then I would suggest looking at your phone. Like if you use a phone, look at straight at the phone. Because even me now, I look at my screen. So if I look at all you guys, I don't look at the camera. So if I talk to the camera, do you feel it? I'm now talking to you, and now I'm talking at a general. So it's off to the side. It depends on what you want to achieve. But if you're addressing an audience, what we're trying to do is face the camera straight on. Cool. I'm glad you.
Very true. Very true. True. Very true. Kara. Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions? Now's your chance, guys. Dion is showing his hand.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm quickly going to share my screen
Yes. I should stop
because, you know,
sharing my screen. Yeah.
can everybody see that
Yes.
photo?
Yes.
So this is basically the setup that I used today. Is I was balancing the mic on my cell phone stand thingy, and then both screens had some video on it that changes color constantly. So if I just open up one of, not that one, drafts. So this is basically all that it is, just so you can get some color running.
Yes, yeah.
Now, what I didn't anticipate is like when I went and I started to edit the video, every time I make a cut in the video to, you know, remove some, you know, some mistakes or whatever, then your light's not consistent. So in my case, you know, it wasn't a very serious video. I was trying to make it funny and entertaining. So then it doesn't really matter. But let's say you have a corporate video or you have a corporate meeting or you're recording a very serious conversation, then I would recommend not to do this.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That is good.
Stick with one color and then you go for it. And you know, while I was recording this video, I really tried to create or to record it in a DIY method. So this is basically the setup that I had. So I've got I balanced my mic on the stand and my microphone, my cell phone thingy, and I've got my screens in the back. So, and yeah, this is just a few photos So it's like very bootleg, you know. So you don't really need an expensive setup to make a video work. You can just get creative, and yeah, and also, you know, yeah, like it's a big thing to get used to the camera. And I had a lot of issues. You can ask Steph. We had to make this one video, and like literally, I couldn't say one complete sentence because, first of all, I felt stupid, and second of all, I have this camera in my face, which makes you uncomfortable. Then I've got Steph laughing at me behind the camera because I'm messing it up all the time. But yeah, so all those things, it really does contribute. So what I basically did was today I just said, man, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna make a video, and you know, I don't really care how it's gonna come out. I'm pretty sure that I can edit it so that it looks better, you know. And then as I'm busy editing it, now I start getting these creative ideas, and I'm like, okay, let's do this, this, and this. You know, I kept the editing. How can I say, like, I made the editing so that I go really quickly through the dialogue, so that there's no time for the user to get bored or whatever, and then move on to another video. I use different cuts visually to keep them engaged as well. And like you guys can see, I like had my face was like, you know, rotated to the side like this and this, and I would do like close-up shots and then far shots. Yes. You know, all those things just to keep the people engaged. Because I think, Kadu, if you keep a shot for longer than 2 or 3 seconds or 5 seconds, then that's when people start losing interest. Yeah.
That's the unfortunate. Yeah.
But okay, so I've used Adobe Premiere, and that is that's not a bootleg software. That is used for professional editing. But what I would recommend is you guys go and check on YouTube for, I think it's called CapCut.
CapCut, yeah.
CapCut. I think there's can Canva also edit videos? Or is it only?
I think so.
CapCut is
I don't know.
The best option for a beginner.
Yeah, because it does basically, it will do the heavy lifting for you. You can literally just like drag the sliders, you know, do these things and those things, and you can get a pretty decent edit on those. So yeah, it's about keeping your audience entertained. So that's basically it from my side.
Yeah.
And Tammy, you said show us the video. Go onto the marketing coaching group and Sian has posted his video there if you want to watch it yourself. And for those of you that are brave enough, please post your videos as well. Keiru, I know, made a video as well, and then sent me a video of just him like in his setting with his girlfriend helping on the back of the camera, I think, and just showing like proof that he did his own work, which is pretty cool. Sulette sent me hers privately, but I don't know if she wants to share it. I think it looks great. Sulette, I think you did a really great job. The only thing, like the main thing I would do, Sulette, if I was you, the only tip one of the tips I have is do it in maybe a quiet room when the kids are not too close by, because I could hear some kiddies at some points. But other than that, you know, you did really well. And also, you don't have to do everything in one take. You know, it doesn't have to be a perfect minute, a perfect take. So you can do a piece of it and then, well, just talk, you know, just do your thing. And if you make mistakes, you can edit it. You can cut little pieces out. I don't know for those of you that know, but Instagram is also going to, they're either, I've already just brought it out, or are about to. I think it's released in certain countries, but they have now brought out their own video editing app. So it's basically the same as the Reels app that you have, well, the Reels editing that you have in Instagram, but it's now an app. So I can't remember what it's called. I'll go and find it. And that might be the easiest way for you to edit if you are a beginner and you're not used to CapCut and you are kind of used to Instagram. Then that is an awesome option as well. And I have a bonus tip for you guys. If you have recorded yourself and you don't like the sound, right, take that and then go into this free tool online called, just want to find it. It is called Adobe Podcast. Really? Okay, I'll just find out, but yeah, it would be cool if someone could let me know if they can access this. Adobe Podcast, as far as I know, I thought it was a free tool, but okay, because we have an Adobe license, we have that, but you can literally drag and drop something into this, and you can start enhancing it. You literally just drop the file here, it processes it, and it takes out all the background noise, and it actually does a pretty good job for something that is so simple. So check that out. Otherwise, I'm sure that there are other tools online that you can use for free, and maybe we should do a whole session on like free tools and things like that that you can use practically for your video creating. And then the last tip I have, and Karen, you can tell me if you agree or not, is avoid things that can create a high bounce rate at the beginning of your video. So that is like introducing yourself. Don't introduce yourself. And don't say, good day, hello, how are you? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Stephanie from Salt and Light Creations, and I have a background. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just start talking. And just start with the relevant thing. If you want to do something we call the lower third, if you want to have like a little just text at the bottom saying, this is Pete from Sunshine Films or whatever, then have that at the bottom. But you don't need to introduce yourself. It creates a high bounce rate because people's attention span is like this at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't say this is my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Some people can get away with it. Like I watch this girl called Call Me Chris, and she always says that, but she already has millions of followers, and I like her content, so I'm willing to sit through it. Yeah, there's a few tips I can give you on that as well, but you'll have to wait for my video to come out when I'm finished editing it one day.
Yeah. There's this one creator, Peter McKinnon. He is in the video
Yeah, he's
sphere.
good.
He always, what's up, guys? And then he talks. So his video already starts with a bang. So you can find something that, I don't know if you do something, or I don't know,
Yeah.
get your own thing that you replicate each video, and then that becomes his thing. And Peter McKinnon's, like, obviously the crowd he like gathered, they started imitating him. And then some people, they do a video just of guys trying to imitating him, and it's like, no, it's not what's up guys, it's what's up guys. And then they go on this rant, they start creating video content of him doing the Peter McKinnon what's up guys. So yeah, that's also a good thing to get your viewer or your video to start.
Grab their attention.
Yeah,
Grab their attention.
yeah, that's
Awesome.
the right wording.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Unless you have any last questions. Actually, Albie is typing. Albie says, will it have the same effect if you record your voice and like in a podcast and not be in front of the camera. Albie is trying to avoid the camera. Is that what's happening, Albie? Yes, that is what's happening. I mean, you can do a voiceover with some things like that. She says yes, but it really creates a lot of trust when people see your face. When I start putting my face on content, I start getting customers. And Albie, you said to me earlier this week, when you posted a video of yourself with your face on it, you started getting more followers without ads. So I think you've answered your own question. Okay.
You can use that as a
Alrighty,
cutaway
guys. Yeah,
to
you can
show
use
something. So if
cutaways.
you talk about a product, talk about the product, and then later on show the product, and then you can like show on the camera and stuff like that.
Well, explain to us, please, Cairo, what
Yeah.
for those that don't know what a cutaway is and how you should
Yeah.
use them.
Okay, a cutaway, just use it as support for your main sort of video. So you talk, we sort of call that our A-roll, and then your B-roll or cutaways is stuff you pick up later. So if you say we go on a mine, and this mine overseer, he talks about whatever is happening on the mine, and he talks about a big yellow truck, then you would show the big yellow truck driving past or something like that. And then he talks about all the big rocks on his mine, then you show the big rocks. So obviously, if it's your content, if you have a product and you talk about the product and the product comes in this little box, then show the little box. So yeah, that's a cutaway or B-roll.
And it does that thing that you were talking about, that it keeps the person's interest, even if it's just cuts away after 6 seconds of you talking to something else, to anything else, and then cuts back to your face. It really helps that retention. So if you, let's say, have a friend as well that you want to film with, and then you two want to do it together, you can have that friend with the camera on the other side, and you can kind of, you can cut away to this camera and then to this one. That will also create some depth, but that is getting more technical with it and more expertise. I don't want you to get confused. Just start with the basics. And something else, this is not your homework, but this is like a bonus for this week. I want you at least twice this week now, and this is going to be, it's going to be difficult at first, but it should be easy in the end. You know, everybody sends voice notes. Instead of sending a voice note, send that person, just put the camera down and talk to the phone or next to the phone. You can even, sit here and talk over here while you're filming yourself and say exactly what you would have said on the voice note. Just put your face on the camera for that person. Don't have to show it to anybody else. But once you start doing that, you're going to get so used to being in front of the camera that it's going to become like second nature. You know, when you started driving, when you got your driver's license the first time, before, when you were still training, it was very awkward and it's really difficult. And I'm sure that you stalled when you were trying to master the clutch like I did. But now I can drive without thinking. And that is how it's going to become. It's just practice.
That's the same with these video calls.
Put your camera on, guys. It really is.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how much more comfortable I am in front of the camera now than what's it now, 6 weeks ago. It's really
7 weeks ago.
7, okay.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really just a very simple thing. It's just put your video on when we're having these sessions. And week by week, you're going to start getting more used to it. Even if you don't have makeup on, even if you don't, whatever, or okay, if you're not comfortable, then that's really fine. But Sulet says, I'll change my setup and get camera ready for the sessions. Yeah, just make yourself used to the sessions with your camera on. Sulet, you are a business owner, and I know you're in BNI and you present to people a lot. So you can talk in front of people and you're very good at it. So just get yourself used to the camera. That was the whole point of this week's homework, is to get yourself used to the camera. Not to show it to anybody, but Stian, I am gonna make you post your video to social. So, you know, but that's Stian. The others, if you are comfortable with it, cool. If you want me to give you feedback on it, then on your videos, please send it to me, and then I'll give you the feedback and you can post to socials.